Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Joe Yoga Life Diaries. So this week, I'm going to start by being really honest with you about how things have been for me this last few weeks, actually. I think I probably mentioned it in previous episodes, but it's just been a little bit of a struggle. It's been a bit tough. There's been a lot of tears, a lot of tiredness, a lot of sort of feeling a bit stuck and a bit overwhelmed and generally just a bit unhappy. And please, I don't want to start this episode on a real sort of downer low point, but I just want it to be kind of a food for thought as to how have you been feeling? You know, really, we're sort of plugging on, we keep going on. We're now a year into this pandemic and we're just plugging on and we just keep going. And I want you to take a moment to just, think about that. You know, that is huge. That is massive where we are right now. I think it's okay to start to feel a little bit shit about it. I'm here today to obviously share with you how we can turn this around and how you can feel better and not feel like you are swimming against the tide, so to speak, or feeling stuck as if you're not moving. That's obviously what this episode is about. But I want us to understand that we are in it together. And if you do relate with me at the moment and you are feeling as if a bit emotional, a bit stuck, keep listening, because I'm here to share with you how, we can turn this around and how you can feel better and how what you're going through is completely okay. It's completely normal. And so I've been feeling really low and really stuck. And in the grand scheme of things, I am one very lucky lady. I have a very happy home life. I do a job that I manage. I'm my own boss. I do a job that I love as well, which helps. I'm healthy. I'm fit. My son is happy. My partner is happy. We don't want for anything. So in the grand scheme of things, I am one very lucky lady. That doesn't mean that on days when I'm feeling a bit rubbish, that I should feel guilty for feeling rubbish. It's easy for you to turn around and say, but you've got everything. You've got this happy home life, but that doesn't make up for actually my emotions right now, my feelings right now are not great and they're valid. And I'm experiencing that. Something I heard this week, there's a couple of things I'm going to share with you actually. One of them was that sometimes in the darkness you can feel like you're being buried. But how about if you've actually just been planted and you're about to bloom? And the other saying is that without darkness, without sadness, happiness would never even exist. You have to have both points. You have to have the balance. And one beautiful thing that I have grown to learn over time through bouts of depression and through sadness is that I know that there is always sunshine coming. I know that I'm always going to come out of it. And even in the times where, I've had days where I've been crying so hard that I was literally, just my body was racked with sobs. And I didn't know when I was going to stop crying. And I've hidden myself away and not wanted to be around Craig or Charlie because I don't want them to know that I'm feeling like that. But I've always known, no matter how low, I've always known that I will come out of it. And I know that there will be sunshine and I will feel better. I don't know when it's going to be, but I always know that it's going to happen. That's one thing to think about. So on these days when you are feeling low, and of course none of this advice is to take place of any kind of medical advice that you're given. And also I put this out to many of my clients in my newsletter. And if you don't subscribe to my newsletter, then please go to my website and subscribe, because I share every week with meditation and videos and obviously this episode as well and blog posts and things. And we always sort of chat and discuss. And I shared this with my community this week in the newsletter, and the responses I had from other women feeling exactly the same and thinking they were alone. And one thing I want to point out is that throughout the pandemic, I've certainly noticed in my community that it has been the women that have had to adapt the most. They're the ones who have taken, not across the board, don't get me wrong, not across the board, but in many cases, the women are the ones who have taken the homeschooling under the belt. with having their family at home more. There is a lot more housework. There is a messier home. There's a lot more put on to the mother's shoulders. Continuing that for a whole year, and now we're coming to the point where actually we're starting to see a bit of light. We're starting to feel that we're on that upward curve. These emotions are now bubbling up. We've been repressing a lot of frustration to keep things going and to keep things motivated and to keep the kids entertained or educated and to keep thinking about, well, food and meals, and there's more laundry and et cetera, because everyone's around a lot more. We've kept those frustrations repressed, and so now as they're coming up, as they're bubbling up, because we're starting to think, okay, we might be coming out of this now, things are looking better, we've broken the back of it, it's now the time these emotions are coming out. And one thing that I have learned to do this week is you don't have to let those emotions out by screaming, shouting, running, dancing, doing whatever you do to get your emotions out, but how about letting them in and feeling them and being with them? What I've found is that when I let those emotions in and I let myself really feel them, they do what they need to do within the body. They kind of travel through the body. I don't feel great on it, but when they lift, it's like something has cleared. It's a real awakening. So I'm not repressing anything. I'm experiencing everything, and that is something really, really beautiful. So I would definitely, if you're feeling low, I want you to feel into those emotions. Allow them to happen. Don't fight them, allow them to happen. Feel all the feels, so they say. A really good meditation is Kirtan Kriya, Kirtan Kriya. It's on my YouTube channel, so go to my YouTube channel and have a look at that, Kirtan Kriya. It's really powerful for releasing any kind of trauma or negativity. It's a beautiful one with the mantra Sa Ta Na Ma. It's a fantastic meditation. And the other thing I want you to consider when you're feeling low is I want you to think about, what is it that makes you feel good? Truly, what makes you feel good? Is it a long walk? Is it a good old cry and a soppy movie? Is it baking? Is it sleeping? I've done an incredible amount of sleeping. What is it that makes you feel good? And do that. Do what makes you feel good. There's no point just carrying on and trying to keep going for the sake of your family. You've got to just look after you first. Yeah, self-care. Put yourself first and do what it is that makes you feel good. And that is my charge for you today, is to really think about what it is that makes you feel good and do that. If you're feeling low, please always reach out. You can reach out to me, or you can reach out to a friend. If, like me, you like to be alone and have that alone time, but you're okay with that alone time, then take that alone time and make sure your family know that you need that alone time. So do what makes you feel good. And that is my message for you today. Thank you so much for listening today. If anything resonated or you feel inspired to, please share, as that is how we spread the healing. To learn more about me, my teachings, or any of the Joe Yoga programs, go to www.joeyogauk.co.uk, and I'll see you next time. Bye.